Hey, it's Steve from Monster Truck, and you're watching Favorites on Live in Limbo. I think my favorite thing about today so far is knowing that my parents are going to be coming to the show tonight, because they don't often come to, they don't get a chance to come to our shows that often. We only play locally, once or twice a year. So it's always an extra special show when your parents are coming out. You know what? I don't have Twitter, so I can't answer that one. But my favorite Instagrammer is actually my girlfriend Justine. She has a very niche kind of business where part of it is she takes dogs on off leash hikes in the woods, and she takes pictures of them, and her clients uh, view them and like them, and it's a really cool tool for her doing that. And the pictures that she takes are unreal. It's good vibes, Justine. Beautiful pictures, and I love dogs too, so I'm biased. One of my favorite moments was when Ian Thornley came in and played a slide guitar solo on our song "For the People." And I remember by that time it was late in the album, and everyone was getting a little tired of the whole recording process. It's not our favorite part. Our favorite part is playing live, but obviously you have to make albums to keep going. And it was a nice rejuvenation because everyone was almost kind of giddy at how amazing a job we knew he was going to do a good job, but when he came in and nailed it in like half an hour, we were just like, yeah. I think it's a toss up between that song, for that reason, and the that song, and there's another song, "To the Flame," and they both kind of feature like a little bit of a new idea we wanted to incorporate into the album this time, and that was more harmonies present in like verses and in choruses, and those two songs in particular have it's all about vocal harmony the whole time, I mean, up on top of the music, but I think those two are my favorite, and just from the vibe I get playing them as well. I'd say "To the Flame" and "For the People." My favorite band from the past uh, is probably there's like the far past. I have deep roots in the Beatles. My dad grew up in England, and those were the records that my parents were playing when I grew up. That's kind of the first like rock music I got to know. But then as a 20-year-old kid later, or an 18-year-old kid later, I think what really like took my breath away, it was seeing like Rage Against the Machine. They're like probably my favorite band of all time, I would say. And I don't know if they're completely done for good. I hope not, because I never got a chance to see them live, which is one of my biggest regrets in life. But I'd say probably those two, which is a weird combo, but makes sense in a way. I would say playing at Massey Hall with Deep Purple, uh, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. It was early on in our existence. Like, I can't believe we just got thrown on to, 4 Deep Purple shows as they were coming through Ontario. And we played Massey Hall, which is a legendary venue, obviously, right here in Toronto. And it was my first time even being in that venue. So like the fact that we were playing there with Deep Purple, who were like a huge influence on our sound, and then I remember we had this song called "For the Sun," and I know it was long ago because "For the Sun" was on our last record, and this was before that record was even out. Because I remember we were still working out that song, but we were touring so much we had to work out all our songs live. And I remember like it got to this pretty intense part where there's the music's building, and I went to do this drum roll, and I started on the wrong hand, and I was just so overwhelmed at the moment, and I totally just stopped the drum roll in the middle of and Massey Hall was dead silent, and then everyone in the band just looks at me and we just kind of like get back into it like as smoothly as possible. But I'll never forget that because of course it happened then, like yeah, it's one of the first times that like really realizing the moment that you're in threw me off. You know what I mean? Like that was a big lesson in like, doesn't matter where you are, just try and like focus on pretending the stage is a jam space, you know? Like obviously you feed off the crowd, but you can't let your mind wander and think about the situation too much when you're in those iconic places, because it can easily just be like, whoa, I'm in Massey Hall. Even though it's probably one of the songs we played the most, it's been awesome doing Sweet Mountain River, because the crowd is like literally singing for the whole song, and like we kind of like extended a part at the end where we just get the crowd to sing and they keep kind of doing the chorus, and it's been unreal. Like every night to see that, it's really cool. We always had people sing along, but never quite to this level. Now, you know, it's like an album ago, people know that song is probably our most popular tune, you know? So even though it's like repetitive for us to play it, say in the jam space, it like gets a whole new life to it once you can sing with the fans too, and like sing so loud, like where you can hear it while you're playing, you know? It's really cool. That's been a highlight for sure. I think, excuse me. I think, it's tough to define what was the best kind of um I don't know. I think this is a weird one, but I think the my most prized achievement of in the band's career was the moment when we were able to do it as our jobs and not have to do other full-time jobs, you know, because I was lucky. I had a family company that I could easily get time off and have a job right when I got back. But you know, through the years, other guys, they just have to quit a job to go on tour and then find another job when they get home. And like, you know, touring's not easy. And when you get home, you don't get a break. You just got to go and work even harder for the hours you just missed for the tour you just did, you know? So once, uh, once we were able to just do this as a job, and when we're home, which is not often, but when we are, it's time off, you know, because we're not working, you know, that was a huge game changer. And accomplishing that really, that's a tough thing. That's like the goal for most musicians, you know, and accomplishing that really felt special. I love to go on hikes with with my girlfriend and our dogs and the other dogs that we normally have around. I love to be out in nature. I really love that. I love to go camping, and I love riding my bike around you know, downtown Hamilton where we're from, and down by the water. And I like I'm not a big I enjoy sitting down and watching a movie at home on the couch relaxing as much as the next guy, but I try not to do that too much. I like to stay outdoors and active, you know. That's probably the closest I have to a hobby. I don't really have much time to really dive into anything else, you know. It's just kind of like a break when we're off of this, you know. There was one of our first ever tour that we went on was probably 2010, maybe 2011, and it was opening up for Diener from Fubar. He's got a band in Fubar too. He's got a band, Night Seeker, and we went on tour with them. That was our first ever tour, and we were in like Peace River, BC, and the promoters of the show gave me this green armband that was for in memoriam to this kid who had just passed away, and they were building a skate park in his memory. And I wore it, and I guess I just never took it off for a while, and then it kind of became a symbol to me of like this has been with me for the whole span of Monster Truck, you know. So it's funny. My girlfriend hates it, you know, but I'm like, I'm not going to take it off. I've never taken it off. And then when we were in Calgary about 2 years ago, the promoters of that show came out to the show in Calgary. They were visiting, and I actually was able to show them this thing, and they were like blown away by it. You know, there were such cool people and such great people in that town, and they were like got emotional about it. You know, it was really. I never thought I was going to see them again. You know, because Peace River it's not the type of city that you normally tour in. You know, but that was kind of a special one. I mean, there's a million great fan interactions, but that's kind of an interesting one. You know what I mean? One time we were touring with Alice in Chains, who we've done several tours with, but this was the last show of the last tour we did with them. And they pulled us into the dressing room. It was in Halifax, and we just kind of had a last, 10, 15-minute hang and did some pictures and hugged each other and said goodbye just before we went on stage. Because they were like, yeah, I think we're going to leave right after our set tonight. We want to say our goodbyes now. Little did we know they were just distracting us while their crew set up our stage for like prank central, like along the last set. So like after we come out of their dressing room, we walk up, get ready to go on stage. And we walk out, and they kept the lights off as we walked out, which they never did that for the whole tour. We're like, what the hell's going on here? So we're like trying to clamber around to our spots. And then as we're doing it, we realized that they put like hundreds of pieces of duct tape, sticky side up, on the stage. So as we're walking, we're like collecting these like boots of gaff tape, you know? So it starts out like that. Then I sit down on my drums, still haven't turned the lights on yet. And I'm like, what's this like flowery odor? And then as we start the song, I realized they had put mounds of baby powder on each one of my drums. And so as I started playing, that started just, enveloping me in a cloud, And then they came out and covered each of us in Silly String for one song. They switched my water bottle with a bottle of vodka. So in between songs, I would take a big swig, and it was like straight vodka. I almost puked everywhere. Then they started driving remote control monster trucks around the stage while we were playing. They would like put beers in the back and bring them out to us and stuff. And then for the last tune, this is all in like a half-hour set too, which is crazy. The last tune, they did the classic like pull away a piece of my drum kit every 20 seconds in the last song. So I'm left with like one cymbal, my kick drum, and my snare drum, and I had to finish the song like that. And then Jerry Cantrell comes out and puts a tall boy right on top of my kick drum as I'm playing, and it goes to fall off, and I grabbed it with one hand, kept playing with the other, took a swig, put it down, and it was quite a moment. And then after that was the last song, and after they all came out on stage, and like, yeah, give it up for Monster Truck. We all hugged each other, but that was pretty hilarious. That was like one of the first times that I almost couldn't play because I was laughing so hard at certain things that were going on, But it was great. Earplugs, because whether I'm sharing a hotel room or on the bus, there's always someone who snores like a chainsaw, or there's something going on, that is, because I'm a bit of a finicky sleeper. So I need to have earplugs. That's a small thing, but it's the only thing that I must have on tour, I can make do with everything else. And my show shoes. I have certain Chuck Taylors that I only wear for shows. As long as I have those, I'm good.